Edge's original return plans were allegedly cancelled, so we'll take a look at what's going on there. We'll also take a look at what's going on with the Mysterios and much more. Let's start things off with Edge's return. Everyone knows that the mystery vignettes that have been airing on Raw since early July are connected to Edge. But even though we know who's behind them, there's still a lot of mystery to it. Some fans think that Edge will bring help with him. Some think he'll be back in this rated R superstar persona. Some think he'll have an even darker persona. Just all this mystery surrounding Edge's return itself. On top of all of the questions about what version of Edge we'll see when he returns, the next biggest question to ask is, when will we see Edge return? Well, reports have been coming out regarding the original plans for Edge's return. According to these reports, it seemed like the original plans included Edge returning before Summerslam and wrestling at the event. One of the rumored reasons for Edge's removal from the Judgment Day right away was that WWE planned on using a babyface Edge to strengthen the babyface roster that took a big hit when Cody Rhodes went down. So the plan was for Edge to step in and fill that main babyface role all summer long that Cody was originally supposed to be in. All these reports claim that not only was Edge booked for SummerSlam, but they say Beth Phoenix was also in the plans as well. Beth is retired, but she'll hop in and out of retirement from time to time. She returned for a little run in 2019 and had another big run in early 2022 when she teamed up with Edge to take on The Miz and Maurice. So by the looks of these reports, it appears that maybe WWE was planning on another in-ring return from Beth, most likely to help Edge out with Rhea Ripley. In the very few weeks that Edge was leading the Judgment Day, Beth Phoenix was very vocal on Twitter about how she didn't agree with anything Edge was doing, and how she always knew there was some good left in him. So Beth was against the group from the very start, and then they brutally kicked Edge out as well. So it makes sense if she wants to spring back into action and help Edge bring down his creation that has gone extremely wrong. Hearing that WWE planned on bringing Edge and Beth to SummerSlam also fuels the fan theory that Edge was possibly going to return with a new trio to face off against the Judgment Day. If Edge was bringing in Beth to cancel out Rhea Ripley, it makes you really wonder if Edge maybe would bring in a third member to help take down Judgment Day. Of course, everyone wants it to be someone crazy and exciting like Bray Wyatt, but that obviously has such a low chance of actually taking place. But it doesn't even have to be someone crazy or a big surprise. Having Edge's third be someone like AJ Styles would be pretty perfect as well. AJ Styles and Edge started off their WrestleMania feud in a friendly manner, but it was Edge's heel turn on AJ Styles that spiraled everything out of control and into the creation of the Judgment Day. So maybe they have a moment there where Edge apologizes to AJ Styles for everything and recruits him to join him and Beth. Anything like that would have been interesting to see for sure, but obviously these original plans have changed. Everyone thought we would see Edge in action against the Judgment Day in some capacity at SummerSlam, but the Judgment Day ended up facing the Mysterios. No one knows why all these changes were made, but maybe it falls into the same ballpark of why Seth Rollins and Riddle were changed. Maybe they wanted to save Edge versus the Judgment Day for Clash at the Castle. Clash at the Castle is this massive show for the UK, who hasn't hosted an event in this magnitude in 20 plus years. So maybe they're changing and saving everything to load up the card for Clash at the Castle. If that does turn out to be the reason why, then Clash would already have 3 huge matches on the card. It'll most likely be Riddle versus Seth Rollins, Edge versus Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Not a bad first look at Clash at the Castle card at all. A popular topic for over a year now, and something that was hinted at even from Dominik's first feud with Seth Rollins, was the idea of Rey Mysterio and Dominik turning on each other. Obviously, Rey Mysterio could never turn on his son, so if a heel turn ever happened, it would most likely be Dominik in the heel role and initiating the split. Well, in a recent interview with BT Sport, Rey Mysterio addressed the idea of him and Dominik splitting up, Rey Mysterio had this to say about the popular fan theory and topic, quote, "We actually talked about that during the first couple of weeks of training. I remember sitting down with him and telling him, could you imagine if you started working and then we teamed up and eventually, whether I turned on you or you turned on me, yeah, that would be cool. Over time, it's like, I don't think we can do that. Our connection has been so tight, from day one, the age of 7, and Eddie Guerrero and myself. I don't think that it would be storyline-wise. It might be attractive, but I need to feel it at the moment during that time. Right now, I feel like we just have a really tight bond. But it would be something special," end quote. So according to Rey, it's something that they had fun with and talked about a few years ago, but as time went on, Rey Mysterio just can't see that storyline happening. Rey agrees that it might be an attractive storyline idea and concept, but it needs to be a perfect moment in order for him to be on board with it happening. And Rey is completely right, and that's something we talked about when this theory first came up. No matter what route you take it in, Rey turns on Dominik or Dominik turns on Rey, it's a very dark storyline. We've seen Rey and Dominik together on WWE television when Dominik was barely in elementary school. So to see them together on screen with each other for 20 years and then see this brutal heel turn, it's going to be one of the most darkest heel turns we've seen in quite some time. It's either going to be a father turning on a son or a son turning on a father. No matter who turns, everyone is going to be completely at a loss for words. So it doesn't sound like Rey is fully against the storyline idea, but it looks like he just wants to make sure it makes sense and takes place at the absolute perfect moment. As far as the latest update for the Mysterios, they got their hands full right now dealing with the Judgment Day. Aaliyah Mysterio got herself involved in a storyline recently for the first time since December 2020, when Rhea Ripley made her surprise return to attack Rey Mysterio and Dominik. Aaliyah stepped up to confront Rhea Ripley before Rhea pushed her out of the way. So the big question there is if this brief little moment will lead to anything significant. Will Aaliyah stick around for a bit like she did in 2020 and maybe look for some revenge against Rhea Ripley? No one really expects Aaliyah to step into the ring with Rhea Ripley, but maybe she could just interfere in some capacity to get some revenge on Rhea for that little shove. So lots of story could be happening soon with the Mysterios. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with Edge's canceled plans and the latest with the Mysterios? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.